Subscribe lah geng, subscribe lah.
Greetings everybody, this is Offshore and welcome back again to another video, and we're doing something a little different today. We are going to actually assemble a computer that a friend of me has asked me to do so while he's away. He's right now stuck in another country and not able to come back home. So he decided to hire me, and he has agreed to pay me $1,000 to assemble this PC. Why? He did ask me why I cost so much. I said, and he asked me if am I installing him customized water loop, and I said yes, I'm customizing the AIO. Well, not customizing, but I'm routing the AIO host on the x80 crack. So if you want to ask Pro to make your PC, Raven, you have to pay me like Pro. So anyway, everybody, I just hope you enjoy the video. Let's get on with it. Just for your info, this is not a sponsored video, although the stuff does belong to my friend. Anyway, we're not reviewing anything. I'm just going to go through the items that he's bought and he wants us to assemble, or he wants me to assemble it. And this is the PC-011 Dynamic from Liang Li. Apparently on the website it said that this was designed by Razer. The thing is, I have the exact same casing, the Dynamic standard one. Okay, the only thing different from the design from the one that I already have is the Razer logo and the RGB strips here, and the USB being green. Seeing that the USB in front is being green, what about the back? Oh no, there's no motherboard. The motherboard should be standard and not green. Anyway, the good thing about this case is that it has a lot of space. It's a very good case where you can display the look of your internal of the RGB that he's going to have. It has a lot of power supply room, or power cables room at the back of the casing, and that's what drawn me to the case before. So he decided to get the theme one, which is Razer. Now Razer theme color is green, so you better be using only green in this case. But when you're getting this case, I'm going to put all the RGB green. You cannot go any other color. Razer is green. So I'll make sure all of these are green. Anyway, the one thing also I found missing from the case that compared to mine was that the Dynamic usually has a panel at the back that says Liang Li and the design and blah blah blah, but there's no panel at the back there, even though the design is practically the same. Another good thing about the case is that it has a lot of the dust filters, magnetic type, so it's easily to remove and wash. So since it doesn't have the panel at the back, Raven, I think chiplak lah, this one, not real one. Why you buy this? Why you copy my case? Buy other case lah. Okay, so let's go through the rest of the item that he bought, and it was hurting my knees kneeling, so I decided to just sit on the stool. So right here we have the MSI 2080 Super. I asked him why he didn't get the 2080 Ti, but he said, actually I don't remember what he said, but it's just a few more dollars, bro. Why you not get 2080 Ti? You rich, you BANGSAWAN. Why so alang-alang? Also RGB. Anyway, still a good card. I think it comes some free games, I think. I'm not really sure. Shootout for MSI. So here's a Liang Li case, MSI graphic card, and he has a ROG Strix motherboard X57 Also RGB, also nice case. I have, not nice motherboard. I have similar one, but it was the X47 that's in my case now. So it is looking pretty good. But looking at the back here, it's almost the same. But I think it has, if it's following the box, yeah, it actually has Wi-Fi at the back here. Now, if you have an, I don't know, since the router is inside, can you connect an antenna to it? Not worth it, I guess. But it looks exactly like mine, except for the heat sinks here. It's just a little different. So we'll take a look at that later. See, copy motherboard also. My motherboard Strix X470. You want to get better than me? Hiya, bangsawan. Next, different brand again. How many watt is this? 750 watt Corsair. I think it is fully modular. Yes, it is fully modular. Gold, 80 gold. So that's very good case, and you're gonna need this much power. And the good thing is it's low noise. Actually, I have a Cooler Master power supply that makes no noise as well. I think the gold, one of the features of the gold is also that, you know, once the current is stable. But most power supply that has the gold rating is also actually pretty quiet. Now, I've never used a Corsair power supply. I think Voodoo used one before, and then it didn't last long. They had to send for warranty. He got it back, and then he sold it. I hope you don't get the same problem. Next, the Kraken X73. If you bought the Z73, you memang bangsawan. But Raven, memang bangsawan. I also cannot afford this. You so kaya, Raven. But it is a good cooler. I'm very interested to see how much cooler this does for the CPU. Okay. Raven, I think I changed now. You take mine, I take yours. You take the dual LED, I take the triple LED. Okay, never mind. I'll give you discount. Tolak $200, okay? Alright, next we have, I didn't take it out from the bag yet, but it is the Ryzen 5 3600. Raven, I think you salah order lah. You order the wrong one, I think. Weren't you supposed to order the 3600X? Actually, that's why I paused it for a little while when I saw the box Ryzen 5. I just realized it's Ryzen 5 3600. But it's still the 3000 gen. Not the 3K version. So it's a decent card, but you know, you still can unlock it, so that's the good thing. And if it doesn't reach up to par, we can always overclock it, Raven. Don't worry, you got good cooler. You can overclock. Cow one. No problem. Okay, and then we have more RGB fans. I think this is there's 3 fans in here, I think. Very expensive. Oh, I hope this is the real RGB and not just the one with one color. Okay, looks like you're safe. You can make rainbow, mini rainbow on the whole case. Okay, you want this one outside the casing? Also no problem. We have as well the NZXT RGB fan controller and RGB controller. What else? He has the XPG Spectric D60G RAM. This is the DDR4 RAM dual kit, 300 3200 Hertz RAM, also RGB, and I'm not sure how good this is, but I've not seen any review for it, but it looks okay, right? So we're gonna take a look at them later, right? Remember, not review. And we have one M.2, 1 terabyte ADATA XPG 6X6000 Pro. And what's the read and write on this? Okay, read up to 2100 megs and write up to 1500 megs. Now, Vivian, only one. Only one. 2 lah. 2 M.2, 1 tera. After that, SSD, buy many 10, put inside there. Alah lah. You want streamer, right? You want to become streamer. You need a lot. When you streaming, you cannot just stream. You must do YouTube also. Then you can famous. This not enough. More. And finally, we have the thermal paste. It's thermal grease, like I requested him. So this is the Cairo knot grease, thermal grease leaf, right? So they have the the liquid metal version, but I'm not confident in putting that for somebody else's PC. If it's my PC, I'll put it in, and then even then I'll be super careful. But I prefer thermal grease. It's even if you do a mistake, you can still clean it up. But if you do liquid metal and you fuck up, money fly. Your money fly, bro. So thermal grease if you want to stay on the safe side. Okay, so that's all he have actually for all his computer parts. And let's get on and let's assemble this baby. So this is the bare case right now, and the first thing you should always do is install the motherboard first. Now the first thing you gotta do is, when you see the motherboard, look at all the screw points area and then try to match it up with the motherboard. Most gaming casing, they already have all the screws already in place that you have to go. The only one that I won't be able to put on is because I did not remove the cover from the motherboard yet here, so this will be the only screw that I will not be able to reach for the time being until I remove this cover. So the good thing about this motherboard is that the panel cover is already on the motherboard and it's not separate like other motherboards before. Now you got to put this in right at the side here, make sure it fits, and make sure that all the screws are aligned like so. Alright, there you go. Now that's in. Oops, sorry, I just hit the camera right there. Okay, now that's in the right place, and I'll keep this sticker on there for her. Now the good thing I've saw with the case that I don't think I got is these screws. Right, these are motherboard screws. So it's really nice. Look at that. No, it's really well designed. I'm not sure if I got any for mine, but I definitely did not put this on my motherboard. So we're just gonna put it all there. We're not going to tighten it yet. We're just going to put all the screws in the right place. Some areas are really hard to reach, like this area right here. So make sure that you have a really long screwdriver. Very easy to put it on using these screws, right? Just put it here. Right. Put it here, hold it in place, and then just screw it on. Okay, having trouble with this one. Like I said, do not tighten it. You probably won't be able to see. I move the camera a bit to the front. I don't want to lose alignment. How this is not everything to the camera. I was editing straight on. Okay, so that's how you want to work. So let's make sure I tighten a bit. Do not screw it on too tight. Just screw it on just enough. It doesn't shake. We have one more right in there. So, and this is the CPU. On Ryzen CPU is quite easy. Just pull this pin up, and then on the Ryzen itself, look for the small arrow, and you'll see a small golden arrow right at the corner there, and then you see it on the socket somewhere as well. Now socket, this is the small arrow. It's really hard to see. I hope I can zoom it into you when I edit later. So just align the golden arrow with the arrow that's on the motherboard, and just slowly fit it in. Just shake it a bit just to make sure that's in place and it doesn't just get stuck, because you don't want the pin to bend when you're bending this. So once it's on properly, just close it and it's fit. So like I said, we have one screw in here, and we're going to remove this. We're going to have to remove this anyway, because that just below it we're going to have to install the M.2. So I think that would be the best time to actually do it. Let's just remove this. Make sure you don't lose the screws though when you're pulling this out. Okay, just keep the screws in place. Take it out, put it somewhere safe, and then remove this as well, because behind this is what we really want to go for. I think the M.2 is behind this slot, and another one is just right here. Right there it is, the M.2. So usually this is the M.2 that we should be placing on M.2. The second one will be underneath here, and it's the same. This is practically like the heat shield. I'm not sure. This is not a heat sink, by the way. Okay, it doesn't look like a heat sink. But if the M.2 does come into contact, let me see. So yes, the M.2, there is here thermal pad that is right there. So this will be the heatsink for the M.2. Same goes for the one below here. Once you have a second M.2, you can put it right here. Okay, so we're not going to remove this because we do not have a second M.2 storage. So this is the one that we're going to be opening, and we're going to remove this once we put the M.2 in here. So this is our Editor M.2. So we're not going to be putting this because of the heatsink. So we're not going to put it right at the bottom here. So it's supposed to, you know, take this out. You're supposed to glue this on top, but this in itself is not actually a heatsink. So it does nothing. It's just practically a decoration. So nothing that you do. So only if your M.2 is exposed and you want it to look good, this is what you put it on. But you can always buy aftermarket heat sinks rather than this. Okay, this is the M.2. Alright. Here, there's a rubber here. Do not remove this. And Now it seems like I'm missing a screw here, so I'm going to just put it in here just to show to you right here, and I'll come back with the screw after this. So we have it right here, the two small parts. So we have the screw and we have this extender here. So this has to be put underneath the M.2 SSD. So we're gonna have to remove this again, just for a little while. Put it one side, and then screw this right here. You can just use your fingers. Is that the right length? Yes, I believe so. So just hand tight it. Place the M.2 back. Get the small screwdriver and a small screw. Push it down. It would be better if we had two people holding this. And like the others, just tighten it enough so that it just fit into place. Right, so that's done. So now back. Good thing is what this is, that the screws are locked in place. You will not get lost. Okay, so we got to remove this, put this here. There, all the way. Make sure to place it properly. Don't tighten it yet. Make sure this is in the right position. Okay, it is screwed on. Okay. Tighten it just at the end. And there. That's it for the M.2. So now we have to just put back this, and I just realized, oops. So the next part is to put back this cover, and I just realized that this is plastic. Oh, that's strange. So I guess looking at this, the airflow only goes one side. Sucks air through here, in. Air goes out this side, and it looks like nothing is cooling this. So, and unlike the other heat sinks where the screw is not able to escape, right? This one, unfortunately, the screw can drop. Actually, I dropped one earlier. Took me a while to find it. So, just putting this back here. Careful, I assume this was LED actually, because the X470 is actually LED, except for this. Actually, this was one of the reasons why I didn't want to get the X570, is because they have fans on it. So yeah, I'm not sure if that's a good thing. Let me see. Wasn't this like this? Okay, so the airflow still does keep pointing down. Alright, easy enough to fit it back in. Screw that back on. Okay, just checking the screws here. Alright, it's not loose in any way, so that's good. That's it for this part. Right guys, so now we're going to be installing the water cooler. So the AIO, the all-in-one cooling system, or water cooling system, or the whatever you want to call it. So we're going to install the Kraken X73. The first thing we have to do is remove this. So we got just take that out just by unscrewing it. Don't lose the screw though. These screws are very hard to replace. So the next time that you want to change back to the one air coolers, then you're gonna have to have these screws back, because there are not many screws that actually fit. Right there. Oh damn it! Of all the places you have to drop back there. Is that what? The hardest place to actually get it. Alright, got it. Okay, let's take that. Let's remove this guy. Oh, before we remove the next one. Sometimes when you remove this, the back plate will drop. Okay, this is the back plate, so I don't want it to drop yet. So to install the Kraken X73, we're going to be using this. Okay, so this will be put in there, and once we tighten it, we'll be tighten using this on top, this knob on top. So one thing you have to be careful, guys. There's only one set, so you have a total of 4 of this each, and there's no replacement. I wish NZXT actually gave us some replacement, you know, at least 1 or 2, just in case, because I had one that broke off at this point here. It was, I think a year old, and then when I was just changing the thermal paste, I actually broke one of this. So I wish we had some spare. It was lucky that I actually had a second Kraken set. So but it was for my GPU and I wasn't using this. But the next time I want to use it, I actually am lacking one set of this. So you got to be careful when you install this. Just put it in, hand tight will be enough. Okay. Same goes for the other side. Now this will keep the back plate from falling backwards, and you don't have to go and look for it. Try to attempt to pull it, because depends on the case on how tight it is at the back. It might not fall, but then again it might fall as well. So remove the bracket, do the same thing, get this and tighten it here. Do not try to tighten it too hard. Hand tight, like I said earlier, is enough. Okay, that's it. Right, next up we're going to install the radiator. So we're going to be installing the radiator on the top, so you just got to be careful here. Try not to scratch anything. You're going to have to, this is a very long radiator that we have to fit on the top right here. So you get the screw with one of the washers that actually come with the set, and you can just have to screw it on top here. Okay, just let it hold itself in place. Get another pair. The screwdriver is too long. And again, not too tight, so that you can reposition this to the place that you want. Right, so I think I got that in place, and I'm just going to continue doing this to the rest of the areas that we want to screw this on. So right now we're going to be installing the AIO. So this is the AIO. I know I've been struggling a bit to install this. So this is the bracket for the Intel, and we got to remove it. You just have to press it down, switch it to the left, and it's out. Okay, so we got to remove that. And we have the AMD bracket right here. Remember how you want to put it back, you want to put it on as per the writing. This is the right way up. So you just slide it in, twist. Oh, this is strange. This actually turns. Okay, I don't know what that does. I don't want to know. Well, that's how we want the bracket on. There it is. It's on. So we're going to be taking the 4 bolts that we had earlier, and we're just gonna screw it in. Remember, you know, it's like screwing a car tire. You want to go around it, and don't twist it in too tight yet. Just make it loose enough and put all the screws on one by one. Okay, so then you start to tighten it on each side slowly. Oh, damn. We forgot the thermal paste. So I'm gonna have to open this again and put thermal paste. Be right back. Back. So this is the thermal paste. It actually look quite different from the one I have. Anyway, we're gonna just put just enough on the processor, and we're gonna just spread it with this. Right. Okay, I don't think we need more than that. Let's just spread it. Looks like we don't have enough. Just a little bit more. That will do. Try to spread it as evenly as possible. Cover all the surfaces. I think that's fine, right? Don't go anything to waste, but you don't actually want to do this. But I know we have some left. Let's just try to use that up. Well, I think that's as good as we're gonna get. Alright, now we put this thing on. Yeah, let's do this. Right. Okay, let's get the rest on. Okay, so we're gonna tighten them bit by bit, so that they're even. Okay. Is a screwdriver just to even them up even more. We don't want this to be too tight. Remember, you'll break off the pins and you'll be stuck onto the bolt. So don't be too tight. Just get it enough that it doesn't shake, and that will do just fine. So there's still a long way to go when it comes to the power supply, but we're gonna do that later, and we're gonna install everything else after this. Now the thing about I never liked about the NZXT, this should actually be here. You can actually do it by yourself by, you know, turning it around, but then the NZXT name will be upside down. The thing is, for AMD, it's either NZXT or AMD will have to move this RAM slot. Look, this is actually pretty close to me. It's really close right here, and I don't like it. So depends on how big the memory is. I hope it's not too big. If a G-Skill can fit, a normal RAM should be able to fit. So this is worrying a bit. I don't think I can move it anymore. So let's try installing the RAM and see what happens. So these are the RAMs. So you're gonna have to install it 2 and 2. So because these are dual kits, so they work in pack. So you have to install here one, another one here, and the other 2 pieces will install here. So you got to push back the pin, line up where you want to put it, put one in until you hear the click, put the second one in, and then make sure it's in properly. Just push the back first, and they're in. So now look at this, it's pretty tight. I'm not sure if that is okay. So there it is. Look, we have a problem, Houston. So we're gonna see if we can put it in even closer, right? Looks like there's nothing I can do. Okay, so that doesn't work, and I'm gonna have to call my friend up and see how he wants to do this, because he bought 32 gigs of RAM and he wants 32 gig of RAM, and the only way I can do that now if I turn this upside down. I'm gonna give him a call now, and then let's see what he decides. He agreed to turn it around, and I just found out that this logo actually, you can actually turn it. I have 2 of the Kraken, and I did not know this could actually turn. Anyway, so we're gonna be putting back the RAM again. Like I said, look at the RAM slots. Now this set has to be on different. I mean, you put one, you skip one slot. You put one, you skip one slot. So that's how you remember it. This is the RAM again. No, easy. Just see the XPS logo. Put it in between. Push the back first. Just slot it in. Put the back first. Push the back. Clip it. Same goes for this side. So you got all 4 RAMs on 32 gig worth. Okay, so that's how you put the RAM in. Next we have the, I guess, the humongous graphic card next. So this is the 2080 Super. It's a huge beast, man. It's huge. I've never seen a graphic card this big before. So we gotta remove a few things first, like this plastic here, before we forget to remove it. So we gotta remove it here. There's an arrow here stating that remove here. So we gotta pull this out. Okay, that's out. Now they have more plastic on the fans itself, so I believe that this should be removed as well. Yeah, yep, see, those things are not going to stay on. I'm not actually sure actually, but we got to remove this sticker. It doesn't look good. We got to remove this part if you want to remove the slide. So this part is for the NV link if you want to slide. But there it is. It's right there. So you're just gonna keep down. We're not gonna slide it anyway. So the thing is, they have plastic here. I'm just gonna take a look at the manual and see whether I got to remove any of this. So said nothing in the manual. Tried to search something on the internet, but it did obviously look like it had to be removed. Now that I remove it, it looks really nice, and there's one more plastic there. Make sure that you remove all that, and before you put in your graphic card at the PCI, make sure that you remove this plastic protector, right? But keep this protector for any graphic card that you want to protect the connectors. So just put this in carefully. There you go. It's a tight fit actually. And the graphic card, because it's so huge, it actually came with this. Right? It is freaking bracket. And I don't know how, but this is damaged. Well, it's scratched actually. I'm not sure where that got damaged from. It was still in the plastic when I got it out. Okay, so it is strange. So to put this on, right, so this part here has to be underneath the card. I'm gonna go see the manual again and see where this actually goes, just to make sure again. Second check. It's always important to check, guys. So according to this, it goes under. Place the bracket, the graphic card support bracket in the expansion bracket directly below the graphic card, and make sure that it contacts the graphic card slightly. Use the screws to secure the graphic card. Support the bracket in place. Please use screws supplied with the case. Alright. Okay. Firstly, I'm going to see if they have the screws that they mentioned. I did not see any screws that came with the graphic card actually, so hold on. Okay, I don't know what's going on in my mind. It said the screws that came with the case. I said that out loud, but in my mind it was the screws that came with the graphic card. So let's just screw this in carefully. Oh no, we don't want to lose that. Hard to find it again. So gonna have to push it in a bit. Yeah, that's a tough thing. Okay, we just got to pressure it to the back a bit. Okay, hold this right here, pressure at the back, and then screw that in. Get the other one in as well. Give it a tight spot. I don't have to worry about SATA since my friend did not buy the SATA, only buy the M.2 that was here. But to remove the M.2, you got to remove the entire thing. So, bracket time. So it goes here. It's supposed to be underneath. Okay, so it has to be this two. Another choice there. No, we don't. We have to keep that there. Oops. Okay, this is gonna be tough. If those things fall off while I'm trying to install the bracket and screw at the same time, it's hard. Okay, look. The brackets are coming off. No! Stay in position, damn it. Do not move. Can you see that? Oh, the camera just moved. Alright, I think you can see it. Go in. Go in. Okay, so we're going to push this up. Okay, so if we cut slightly, tighten this here, tighten this here. Okay, so that's how it works. Okay, make sure that it doesn't touch the fan. It's very close actually. I do not like this bracket. I do not like it, but I think we need it because this thing is it is really heavy, so it is going to drop, you know, so we gotta keep it like this, and the support is important. Just hope one day this thing doesn't go to the fan. Yeah, it seems okay. I'm just gonna see if I can put more. Okay, that's as much as I can do for it now. Yeah, that push, but I don't like it. It seems sideways and not straight. So what are you gonna do? So that's how you install the graphic card, but we're gonna install power supply soon, and then we're going to install this here. Luckily the case actually comes with a jack, so that's no issue. And we're gonna have to install the fans for the radiator, and then we're done, I guess. I might have to take out the radiator again if I can fit the screwdriver there actually. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take that back out. Right, so we're gonna have to install the fans, which I thought I had space to install it before I put it in, and I was wrong about that. So remember to install the fans first if you're going to install it from the top, unless you install it from the side. I tried to install it from the side, but because we wanted the RGB fans to show, the only thing with the problem was the RGB only had RGB in the front and not at the back of the fans. Well, the fans that I have here are not RGB, so my friend said that he didn't want the RGB on the top, so he wanted to showcase the RGB, so the RGB should be on the right. Sorry, I saw something. Now I'm gonna install this fan one piece at a time. I might fast forward some parts of the video so that you don't get bored out of your mind looking. One fan on, and a few more to go. And be careful that you need your cables. Why did it get stuck in there? Yeah, be careful that this doesn't get stuck somewhere else. right? We need the cables on this side because we want the cable to get into the bracket there, or the rubber bracket. So remember that. So right, so that's done. Got this here, and we're just gonna lift up this case back up, put this back here. Oops. Okay. Take two of these screws and do the same thing again. So we're gonna have to tuck all this into the back of the case. So we can just push it here. We'll pull it later. This one back here. So here it is. So I have to readjust the camera so you can see it. So up here is the fan from earlier. We're just gonna put it right there so we can identify them easily, right? So we got all this as well. This is USB power. Okay, they have one power, and I have to see the motherboard later. And this is for the audio, and this is for USB 3.0, right? So all of these are at the bottom of the motherboard, and you should actually put this on before putting on the graphic card. That's my bad. I totally forgot about this. So now we're gonna install this. It's not gonna be that hard. It's gonna be quite easy. So let's do this. Hope you can see this. So it's usually very easy to identify. There's only one 3.0, so I'm gonna have to remove this bracket actually. Just not enough space for my hands to work in. And it's going to be a pain in the ass to put it back. Okay, so 3.0 USB, just here.
fits in. The audio jack. So it's there, we can pull that in later. Then we have one more USB, which is this one right here. And we're gonna just pull this in through the slot and then just plug it in right here. Alright, and then the really small wording down there. Oh, I just lost the power button. Just okay. Power. You can see it here. Some motherboards doesn't have this, but in this one in particular it does have. However, if I understand this correctly, power HDD, HDD LED, power LED, power button is on top. Yep, that way it goes, unless I made a mistake. There should be one more USB cable, I believe. Just take a look. Turn it around again. Yep, we have one more USB here. Why it comes up behind here, I'm not sure. This USB is actually to power up the, I think, the RGB for the case, which mine doesn't have. And I hate these kind of extra things because they take up one USB slot. If your motherboard or your case has an extra USB or needs more than one USB, this would be a pain in the ass. Anyway, I'll rearrange it again later. It does need to, I don't know, where would be a much more suitable place? So there's only one USB on this motherboard, and it's that, and you're gonna have to sacrifice that for this. Luckily, I don't think the motherboard needs anything else, but if you were to get, now I'm worried because of the NZXT fan controller, it might need to take the power from the USB. So that's the only USB. We have another one here, but that's 1.2. It usually is okay to use that, but not all the time. I'm gonna have to reroute this. I wonder if I can reroute this side here. Yep, I'll just pull it from the back, exit from the other side so that the cable looks more pretty, and just put it back here. And you know, there's less cables that we can see here, and that's what we want to do. We want to hide as much cable as possible. We don't want to show a lot of cable because we want our cable management to be clean. Right. So I'm just going to unplug that, and ouch. Okay, I think that's it. Yeah, right, I think there's very little space here at the back, so that's going to be a problem. It's not going to look pretty at the end, I guess. Well, it's okay since it's at the back, you can't actually see it, but still people want it to be as clean as possible. Okay, looks like I can't fit anything else. This case would be a problem for me. Well, just for me anyway, because of what I need in my computer. Now the thing is, I'm worried about this. Now, if I open this and it requires power from a USB, or it needs to be connected to a USB. We do have one more, but it doesn't always necessarily work on that other USB. Let's just pray it works on the other USB. It should be fine. I've connected a Kraken onto that other USB on my motherboard, so it should be okay, but it's never a guarantee. Oops, drop that. So we're going to be installing this. I know we meant the manual because I've never installed this. I'm going to just pause this just to read the manual and see how we're going to do this. So we ran into another problem, and I remember I did warn him about this, only to get 120 fans. Now these are 140. Now the side of here, it does not fit any 140 fan, so the RGB right now is out of the question and we can't install it. So we're gonna have to leave that and keep that 140 fans, and I have to call him to let him know. Oh man, this sucks. So I made a few changes. The fans are bringing the air in to the case from the top, and I've also fixed the bracket so that it's more straight. Adjust it so that it's more straight, so it doesn't become an issue, you know, or at least support the graphic card better than before. So I fixed that. Just to let you know, I didn't want to record the whole thing because it was just going to be too long. So right now we're going to go back to the power supply. So right now we're going to be installing the power supply. Now look, we have the 24 pin. This is a strange looking 24 pin. Oh, here it is. It's the other way around. So we're going to just twist this up a bit, then connect the 24 pin here, right? Just hang that there, and then we're going to go for the graphic card, which is a 8-pin add pin. Okay, so we're gonna just put this in here. Okay, and then another pin. Okay, and this we'll leave it hanging here, and we have one for the CPU. Now I don't see the Corsair having this second pin, this 4 pin here, but they do have the 4 pin, so I hope that we do not need this. I'm going to go refer back to the manual again and then see what we actually need that for, or is it only for when extreme overclockers? Yeah, So this is going in there. Okay, so we're gonna turn this around. We're gonna pull this cable from the back. This cable, we're going to just push it down here. Okay. And then the graphic card cable, we're going to just push it down here. You gotta make sure that it doesn't touch the fan. Oh, it came loose. Didn't clip that on properly. Alright. To this. We don't have the LED yet, so we're going to remove that. We're gonna connect this on this for future planning. We're not gonna connect it each to its own, so that we can control this power with this. The only thing is, where do I stick this? Do I stick it above? Get the PSU. The USB should be long enough to reach the bottom. I wonder if I can just slide this in the bottom. Yeah, I can. And I did. So that's, sorry guys, you can already see, but I'm pulling up the cable and connecting it to the 2.0 USB. Really hard to see. Really small place for my hands to work in. Okay, it's just barely enough. I can't really see though. It's how I feel. There you go, I got it in. Okay. That's annoying. Okay, I'm gonna stick it up there. Since there's more space up there and the cable can reach it, so it has this it's not Velcro, but it's kind of similar to it. Call it a dual lock for some reason. You can just push this here. Yeah. Remove the sticker. Make sure the USB is in that position, and we're gonna press it there. And there you go. And then we're going to have to work on the fans. connect this back. Third fan, and then we'll just cable tie this here later. Yeah, but we're just gonna leave it out first so that we can treat it another way. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Right. I would have preferred to route this all the way to the bottom though. I didn't think about it here, but it's kind of tight at the back here. So I don't want it pressing the cable actually. So I already have a few cables that's already down there. I don't want to do more than that. So let's see what we can do next. I got one more that I have to connect. The power needed to supply to the Huey or the EXE's fan controller or RGB controller. So I got to connect this to the peripheral. Can never say that word properly. Put it at the bottom. Right, make sure that we get cable management. We'll connect it to the second part here. Get that ready, and then we'll cable tie all this right here. Yeah. But the cable tie I have here are too short. Gonna have to get a better, longer cable tie. So this is day 2. We encountered some errors yesterday. We couldn't install the RGB fans, and we couldn't use one of these. We couldn't install RGB fans because of the size. My friend ordered a 140mm, which actually I warned him about not to order. The fan, you can fit the 140mm fans on the top. However, it won't look good on the top. He wants it on the side here, and I agree with him. You can see the RGB fans at the side, and it will actually look better. But he wants to keep the old fans. So what we're going to do is the fans we're going to use is going to be pulled in, and because the RGB color is usually very nice in front, this will be the air that they're going to take the hot air and blow it out through the back or through the side, to be more precise. Okay. So until that fan comes, we won't be able to do anything. We also had to remove the NZXT hub or the fan controller or the RGB controller. Unfortunately, it requires a USB jack. Now, this motherboard, actually I'm not sure, I think most motherboard actually only has 2 of this kind of jacks on a motherboard. I think that's the standard. I think there are some motherboards that have more than 2. I've seen 3 before, but those were actually on very expensive motherboards. This is very surprising because the Strix are by no means cheap motherboards, and they only have 2 USBs jacks. So one jack is already connected to the cases LPG, so that leaves us with one USB jack, which the Kraken also requires. So we had to remove the Hewitt from it, so that the Kraken has a controller on it, or at least the motherboard can control the speed with the USB. So right now we're going to be connecting this. It has about 2 connectors. One is this cable jack, and where did the other? Oh yeah, and one is a type C type with the USB jack. Okay, so this is the reason why it requires the USB jack. Okay, so and this is the cable that's going to be providing power to the Kraken, and especially to the fans. Okay, and this is so that the motherboard can communicate with the Kraken.
So the thing is, we turned the Kraken already. As you know, that it actually had a problem here, so we had to turn it around, but luckily this was able to spin. The logo was able to spin, so it won't be upside down. So this particular one, we're going to have to route it all the way here. It's going to go to the back, so that to be clean, I just hope that it can reach to the bottom there from the back, and then we're going to connect this jack to the bottom right here. Okay. Another lesson learned, that you should install the graphic card last after you do all the other cabling. I didn't think about that. So no, I don't want to take this out because there is a space in here for my hand, so it should be no problems. So we're gonna install this. Make sure that backwards here, plug that in. But this cable is a lot more sturdy than the ones I have. So I'm going to put this in here just to route it to the back there. We don't want it getting in the way of the RGB, and this as well. We're gonna do the same thing. If the holes were on the right side, this cable will be on top, and we could route it to the back on the top. But since we've already, moved the hose to the left side, the connectors go to the bottom. So let's just connect that here. Can't really see from the bottom, so I'm just blindly going to push this in, and it looks like it's the proper fit, right? Okay, and then this is the jack. Now a lot of people confused, even me initially got confused, because the motherboard itself has an AIO prop pump, but according to what I read and what was talked in the forum, where one guy actually was told by NZXT that you should connect this not to the IO jack but to the CPU jack. Now this is the CPU optional, this is the main CPU jack, and this is the AIO. Okay, there's another fan jack here that's for the case. So we're going to be connecting this directly to the CPU. Okay, and we're going to we'll just route it behind so that it's a bit, well, we're going to hide it as much as possible. Yeah, take the hard way, not the easy way. Let's just let's remove this first and then put it back. Okay, let's not be too rough with it. Okay, now just an interesting note though, I had this cable once damaged. I don't know how it got damaged. It's just that when it got damaged, I had to get a replacement all the way from the US. So even though if you're not from the US, these parts will have to come from the US. I'm not sure about European side, but if you're from Asia, yes, you're gonna have to get this from the US. So the SATA, and this looks new to me. It's not the same like the one I have. So we're gonna connect this. It's something that is needed. So I believe this is actually a connector for a different power. I'm gonna have to read the manual again because this is quite different from what I have for my tool rat and Kraken. I did not know that this was a bit different. Now we're gonna route it here. Just go through everything in the same place would be much better. I do not like this actually going down to the bottom here, but at least in the dark you won't be able to see it. So we're just gonna push it down the back here, and then we're gonna do the cable management later. Cable management's last, guys. Try to route it as cleanly as possible. Try not to touch anything, right? I wish it was on the top so we can route it around. It's pretty short and it's not blocking anything. everything seems to be going wrong with this wheel. So taking this, now we're gonna route this. This is the USB, and this is the important part. And we're gonna just shove it down here in the bottom, and then this is the fan. This is the power supply, which we will be connecting to one of the power source here, SATA. I didn't think we needed to use the SATA until this came up though. Right, so we're just to show you, but we're gonna put that on later. Right, so turn back here. Good. See if I can adjust the camera so you can see a bit more. Right, and here's the USB. Now the easiest way to go through this is actually to open the covers here, so you can put your hand in, but I don't need that. I just have to make sure pin, this is always at the bottom, the blank part, so I'm going to just adjust it to the proper size, put my hand inside, look on the side here, and push that in like there. Okay, now that's in. So now we have access cable. We're gonna pull it from the back. Right, so it looks much more cleaner in the front. Okay, now I wish I can just push this in some way so it doesn't maybe you can bend it a little, but let's say I think that looks good. We don't see much cables there. It looks pretty clean. So the Kraken has about 3 fans, right? They have 3 connectors. So according to the manual, I mean the old Kraken X70, the power cable actually came with the 3 connectors. However, this has a separate connector, and I had to connect each and one of these to another cable, right? Usually these cables are directly to the cables with the Kraken X73, but I think this is a new version and it's not the same. So now I'm forced to connect this to the motherboard or connect it to the NZXT hub, which we cannot use because of the USB jumper being not enough. So we had to do this, and we had to connect it to the jumper on the motherboard. So I'm leaning here, right here. So the front here, there is a jumper for the AIO and another jumper for the CPU optional. So I'm going to try to just connect it to the AIO, because I connected my one to the old one previously, and it did detect the fan speed. So, but the only problem I have now is that how is the Kraken software going to detect the speed of these fans? Can it? I don't know. So I know that's the only option, is either this or the CPU optional jack. I decided to go go to the AIO jumper, and then let's see what happens here. So I cable tied this right here, going all the way to the back. Right, I did a bit of cable management here. I've not tightened this yet, but since we're going to remove this one day, I'm not going to cable tie this anyway, or as the voice say, how you say, the voice is a tweezers. So I'm just going to just shove this in here for now until the next batch of fan arrives, so that we can later on do a proper cable management for him then. But for now, we're going to put in the power supply. We're going to connect all of this back. Oh, remember this cable, the Kraken X70 cable here. So apparently this is an optional jack, and this is basically the RGB connector. So it's supposed to be connected to a hub, but when I look at this hub and I look at, where was it, the connector here, I don't see this connecting to any of that. So I think there might be a different kind of hub, because this has a different connector and it has a different I wanted to connect this to the motherboard, but there's no place on the motherboard where I can connect this to, so I'm stuck. I'm not sure where to put this. So for now, we're just gonna leave it here. Gonna tighten this. Yes, I'm not the best in cable management, okay, but that's how we're gonna do it for now. Oh, let's tighten that up a little bit. We're done with the cable management for now, until the next thing comes. So the next thing we're gonna do is install the power supply. So I'm gonna go get the power supply and come back. Okay, so we're gonna install the Corsair power supply right here. It goes right in here. Just follow the, the screw holes and align them. The casing itself has a vent on this side, so if your casing provides you more than just one vent area, and you want it in that position, go ahead and do it. Just make sure that this fan is not blocked by anything, except if it has a vent line. Okay, now power supply is in. Very simple. And now all we have to do is connect all the cable. So let me just move position here. Right, let's get a little bit closer here. So make sure that you're connecting it to the right place. Find your connectors. Make sure you know where your connecting is. The 24 pins on this Corsair motherboard is a bit strange, so we're just gonna have to plug in. I'm gonna plug it in at the bottom first, and then connect it here. Sorry if you can hear my kids in the background. They are so and they're very lively. So this will be connected here, and this will be right. The top is the 3 pin, and let me look for this here. Peripheral SATA. So it should be same space here. Right, so that's in. This we're gonna leave it here, can't do anything with that. This is the GPU. We're gonna go to the PCI socket area here. So now we got our power supply in, and we're going to connect the power, everything from the power supply, all the cables to the power supply. Okay, so the first thing you should do, this is the biggest cable. It should go in first because it's going to be the toughest one to handle. So we're gonna put this in. I'm gonna put in, this is a strange cable. Usually you don't see it split up like this. I'm not sure why Corsair did this. Must be there's something on the power supply that caused them to design it in that way. I'm not sure. So it's in, and before we put everything in like that, let's see how the cables can be put in here. Now this cable, let's just squeeze this in the bottom so it doesn't get in the way. Big cable, we're going to just push it in like this, right?
or maybe we should, you know, this is why you have to see what you can do so that it doesn't get in the way. Maybe I'll put another cable tie just to put it up like this. Not sure whether it's okay to bend it, but since these other cables are in, this one's next. We'll just put it in later and see how it goes. This is the GPU. This is the SATA, and this is the motherboard power, I believe, that is up there. Or maybe this is the SATA. Let me check. Yeah, this one is the SATA. The SATA will be, I would say, I'll put it down here, right at the bottom. Very hard to see because of the cable, I know. Let me just hold that up. And then we have, this is the motherboard power. So I'm just gonna fit it where that right there. That way the cable does not get in the way. I'm gonna position this. This one is the graphic card. So the graphic card PCIe. I will position up here, the 4-pin next to the 24-pin, and then we're gonna push this in. And this, you know, it's a RGB, can't connect it anyway, so we're just gonna leave it there. We don't want it to get in the way. Okay, we're just gonna position this all here. Yes, like I said, I'm not the greatest cable management guy, but this cable is just too big. If I could cut it, I would. It's that I'm not good at that cutting. So we're done with the cable management. I do not think we have anything else to connect to the computer at this moment. We're still waiting for the fans. So now, if you're bad at cable management, one good thing about the case is here. You can't see the cables anymore. Oops. Oh no. Oh, I dropped the small cable. I mean the small screw, and you don't want to lose that screw. It's only, there's only one of it, by the way. Where is that screw? There it is. But here, I'm gonna hide this at the back so you can't see it. And we have this small screw at the bottom here. Gonna screw that on. Voila! Cable management, not seen, clean, hidden. And since we're done with that, so this is the case cover, and like I said, now there's this magnetic film of air filter, the dust filters on both sides, and I like the mechanism on how you install this case cover. That in, okay. Just slide it. It's pretty tricky at times, especially when you're not very familiar with this case. But see, now you don't have to worry about cable management. It's all covered. And what I'm going to do, because we're going to have to install Windows on this later, so I'm going to remove this plastic film on both. This is glass. If you drop it, it will break. So now slide it in, and that's in. Right here, we just slide that in as well. And we have the top cover that actually locks it in place. Now, I don't think you're going to be able to see this, but I'm going to just lift up the camera here so you can see, right? So just place it on top. Make sure there's a like screw kind of a mechanism where you just push in the case,
and I'm gonna need 2 hands, so I'm gonna have to put this down. So this was a really tough build to do, not because didn't know what I was doing, but it's because of the parts, and because the things we expected were there are not there. Like the troubles we encountered was, one, my own mistake. I've put some of the parts too early, like the graphic card and power supply. I had to remove them. We had the fans that were too large for the case, the 140 mm's, where you know the side only supported 120 mm fans. And then the USB jack that we're going to have to order the splitter for, so that they can divide that one USB jack into more than one, so that we can make full utilize of the fan controller later on. And then so right now the Kraken also it required one, and the case RGB required a USB jack as well because of the RGB. If it wasn't for that RGB from this case, then I think it would have been okay. But because we wanted the RGB, we wanted the fan controller, and then the Kraken needed the USB, so we needed 3. So we don't have enough one, so that's what happened to this build. Anyway, it is right now a functioning computer. The only thing is we don't have a fan to blow out the air. Okay, but you know, that's easy. We can just install any kind of fan for the time being until his proper fan arrives too, so that we can install that later. But that case probably won't be here when that arrives. I'm not going to wait too long until I release this video. So I still think that the RGB on the motherboard, the NZXT, and the RAM will be more than enough, and the GPU. And I have to add that I really had that bracket, and you know, hardware in the chucks, you know, his website, and he likes to peel off this thing. I'm going to imitate them right now, so I'm gonna peel this off then. Wait, not my case. Put it back. It's not my case, right? So this is the computer that we already assembled. I nearly forgot to show you proof that the computer actually worked. So right here, the motherboard lighting has already started, and it's a bit fuzzy because I've not removed the plastic from the glass itself. So it's a good sign that the motherboard has power already. The RGB on the casing has started as well and is changing color randomly. I'm not sure if the Razer software actually will control this, but we're gonna find out on a later time, I guess. It won't be in this video. Anyway, I've connected it to the second monitor. So drum roll please. Started the computer. The RAM, the CPU, I mean the AIO, and the graphic card has powered up, and it's a noisy really noisy CPU. And there, look, and we're straight into the BIOS. That means the PC now works, and that means we fulfilled the intention of having this computer work. So please remember to like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed it. I know there was a lot of mistakes, but you know, the best of us makes mistakes anyway. So see you guys next time. Offshore out.
Subscribe lah, geng. Subscribe lah.